Hello, let's talk about India's nuclear policy. First of all, India supports universal and comprehensive nuclear disarmament. The same thing was made officially public by Atal Bihari Vajpayee in 1998 while addressing the UN. India has long been cautious of major powers, and that is the reason it has sought to maintain strategic autonomy. India knows the dangers of nuclear weapons as they were dropped on two cities of Japan by United States, and the devastation is for everyone to see. More than 200,000 people were killed. India has also first-hand knowledge of the dangers of nuclear proliferation because it has been victim of Chinese nuclear testing in 1964 and nuclear blackmail from Pakistan. How did China go nuclear in 1964? It went nuclear in 64 because of the fact that it wanted to address its own inferiority vis-a-vis the then Soviet Union and United States of America. But China's successful nuclear test was a pivotal moment that deeply impacted India's security calculations. Because 2 years ago, India was defeated by China in 1962 war. And Pakistan's nuclear program was developed as a counter to India's conventional military superiority. So India detonated for the first time in 1974 in what it called Smiling Buddha, and the second time it detonated and it code-named Operation Shakti. It was done in 1998, May 1998. And similarly, Pakistan did the same thing in the May 1998, 28th May 1998. It did the same at Jagai Hills in Balochistan. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto famously declared that Pakistan would develop a nuclear bomb even if the nation had to eat grass. So, Pakistan accelerated its nuclear weapons program after India detonated in 1974. India's nuclear program arose from security concerns as well as a desire for international recognition. India wanted to be recognized as a major power on international chessboard. After India detonated in 1998, international community, United States, China and others criticized India's nuclear weapons program. India has developed a nuclear triad consisting of land-based, sea-based, and air-based delivery systems. So, if India is nuked, it can launch nuclear strikes using land, sea, and air-based delivery systems. India needs a credible nuclear deterrent to deter potential adversaries. That simply means that India's nuclear program is not to use it against any country. It is in retaliation or it is in response to a nuclear attack on India. India has attempted to strike a balance between its commitment to nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation and its desire for security and recognition. India has clearly argued that Non-Proliferation Treaty, a treaty which was signed in 1968 and enacted in 1970, is discriminatory and perpetuates a two-tiered system of nuclear haves and have-nots. Because there were only five countries which were able to detonate prior to 1967, so they were recognized as nuclear states. So India says that either nobody should have nuclear weapons or everybody should be allowed to have them. And that is the reason India never signed NPT. Uh, in a brilliant article, Harsh Pant, he wrote that in a statement to the Conference on Disarmament on October 14, Indian Ambassador Pankaj Sharma reiterated that even as tensions with neighboring China heat up, India remains committed to its doctrine that it will not use its nuclear weapons against an adversary unless first attacked with them. So India's adherence to a no first use principle is long standing. India is going to be using nuclear arsenals only when it is nuked. But Harshpant argues further that he says that there is a growing consensus in Western non-proliferation community that New Delhi has already abandoned its no first use policy. So, given the circumstances that, or given the fact that if there is a war between India and Pakistan, India may go for preemptive strikes. And this is because of the fact that India has already been granted recognition of its right to a nuclear program through 2005 Indo-US nuclear deal. So that is the reason Delhi has less incentive for caution. So Harsh Pant's analysis reflects broader concerns about the erosion of nuclear restraint in South Asia with potentially destabilizing consequences. There is another article written by Uday Bhaskar. It was written in May 2023. And he says something about India's nuclear program. He says that despite the fact that India has most, despite the fact that India has a lot of nuclear weapons program, but it has not yet abandoned its traditional policy of restraint or traditional policy of no first use. So he says that South Asia was described the most dangerous place in the world, and criticism was heaped on India after India detonated actually. China had acquired its nuclear weapon in 1964 to address Beijing's own insecurity in relation to the US and the former USSR. This is very important. So Uday Bhaskar argues that in the last 25 years, India has honed its weapons of mass destruction capability with improved levels of credibility and has retained its commitment to the no first use doctrine. So despite India has more weapons of mass destruction, but it is not going to use them in preemptive strike. This comes from the conviction that the nuclear weapon has a single purpose to deter the use of a similar capability by an adversary. So the nuclear weapon was not envisioned as a military weapon, but to caution the potential adversary not to embark on a kind of Hiroshima adventure. Given the proximity of the three Southern Asian nuclear powers, India, Pakistan, and China, catastrophe would engulf the region if any of these countries use nuclear weapons. A quick information about NPT. It was signed in 1968. It came into force in 1970. So far, 191 member countries have already are already ratified it. There are three main objectives of non-proliferation treaty. One is non-proliferation, the other one is disarmament, and the third one is right to peacefully use nuclear technology. Thank you very much.